Winter 2025, oh my gosh, it sucks. I'm going to tell you the reasons why it sucks. 1. On January 3rd, there was a lot of snow outside, so we couldn't be able to go out for my sister's 14th birthday. 2. On January 6th, I probably missed a day of school due to a lot of snow. 3. On January 7th, I went back to school. 4. On January 14th, my sister started to be sassy. 5. On January 15th, my sister started to be a little sassy again. 6. On January 20th, I had a day off from school because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. 7. On January 22nd, which was my brother's 21st birthday, which there's nothing bad about that, but during this day, I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on my PlayStation 4, unfortunately. While I was playing the game on the PlayStation 4, I accidentally have my PlayStation 4 controlled slip out of my hand, but it did not fall on the ground, it fell on the bed, and it accidentally hit my mom while she was sleeping. And I did apologize to my mom for that accident to happen. 8. On January 24th, I was going to go on Special Olympics, but it was cancelled due to transportation was messed up. That should not have happened. Later, when it was almost nighttime, me and my brother went over to our stepsister's house. And right when we got there, our stepsister's dog named Lobo was in my way and I didn't say anything about it for a moment, and then my stepsister asked me what is the problem, and then I told her there's no problem. And my brother told her that Lobo was in the way, and then she got Lobo out of the way so I can get through upstairs. 9. On January 30th, we finally got a chance to go on Special Olympics. 10. On February 1st, I was walking a little bit far from home on a cold weather, and then on 2:57 p.m., I received a phone call from my stepsister while I was walking on the sidewalk. I'm not going to say the address of the street because that's personal information, and then a few minutes later, I started to get a ride from my stepsister. A bit later when I got home, I started to hear my dog barking, and at 3:15 p.m. I received a phone call from my dad, and we were having a conversation about my stepsister picking me up from this one street which I'm not going to say the address of it because of you know what reason I just said a little bit ago. And then he was asking me about why I was over there. I told him I was just going out for a walk, and to get a bit of exercise, and he asks me is everything okay at home, and I said yes, everything was okay at home. And I told him that I was out enjoying myself. 11. On February 2nd, I started to feel sick for the entire week. That should not have happened. 12. On February 3rd, and February 4th, I missed 2 days of school due to my sickness. 13. On February 5th, I was a little bit well to go on a Special Olympics field trip. 14. On February 6th, I have early dismissal at school. 15. On February 9th or 10, my sister called my mom by her first name. 16. On February 12th, I have a basketball game at my school, but unfortunately my dad couldn't come because he was sick. So only my mom and my brother came to watch me play. It was just for a little bit and then they leave because of something else they had to take care of. Later on, we were playing against the other team, but unfortunately I accidentally fell down. But it's a good thing I'm not hurt too bad, and it's a good thing that my mom and my brother did not see that, otherwise they're gonna go berserk if they see that. 17. On February 13th, I was going to go to the Valentine dance, but it was cancelled due to some students fighting. That should not have happened. 18. On Valentine's Day, I didn't have school due to Teachers' Professional Development Day, so I got a 4-day weekend, and especially on Monday the 17th because of President's Day. 19. On February 15th, I played a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. 20. On February 16th, my grandma started to feel bad, so she has to spend 2 days at the hospital. 21. On February 18th, my grandma came home from the hospital. 22. On February 19th, I have a Special Olympics trip to soccer, and it went out okay. 23, on February 20th, Akram got in trouble by Miss Robinson because of his smart mouth or something. 24, on February 21st, my mom and my grandma went somewhere early in the morning, so I had to walk to school in the snow. I only did that is because I didn't want to miss out on Special Olympics, and the dance. But the one silly part is that later when I went to the dance for 7th and 8th period, is that I see some people hitting each other with the balloons, but luckily they were having fun. 25, on February 23rd, I hear my grandma yell at our dog, which caused me to be a little bit mad to the point that I had to leave the house to go for a walk for a little bit. 26, on February 24th, the elevator was not working, so Miss Green had to stay downstairs because she couldn't walk up the stairs because she has a walker. On this same day, I went on a field trip with Miss Camp to this one place that has 3 hotels, there's really nothing bad about that. 27, on February 25th, me and my class had to stay downstairs all day because we couldn't be able to go upstairs to the classrooms because of the elevators not working. 28, on February 26th. It was the 3rd day in a row that we couldn't be able to go upstairs in Miss Green's room to learn because of the same situation that happened on the 24 and 25, during the same day. Maurice, Akram, and Jay was getting on Miss Green's nerves while me and Amir trying to listen to her to read. 29, on February 27th, me and Maurice are the only 2 students in school during some periods. Although I see Akram in 2nd period, and a little bit on 3rd period. 30, on February 28th, I dealt with some more drama again at school. 31, on March 1st, and March 2nd, there was a little bit of ironic things going on at home. 32, on March 3rd. Akram was told that he's not going to come on the bowling trip on March 4th due to his bad behavior. 33, on March 4th, Miss Green couldn't be able to come bowling with us because she was sick. During the same day, I was doing good at bowling, and I was doing a couple claw machines at the arcade, but unfortunately, I couldn't be able to get something from the claw machines because the handle of the claw machines refused to hold onto the certain item, which was difficult. 34, on March 7th, it was kind of the last time we've been upstairs before. The elevator stopped working for a little while. 35, on March 9th, daylight savings time started to begin again, which I don't mind daylight savings time because that's where we get daylight a little longer, which I enjoy that. To anyone who doesn't like daylight savings time, opinions handled. 36, on March 10th, I was working on my 2018 Rant, and my PS4 Salute, but I have them premiered the next day on March 11th. 37, on March 12th, we have to be downstairs all day because of the elevator was not working. 38, on March 13th, I played some Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PS4. Later tonight, I talked to Gina Bana on WhatsApp. Note, that was the first time I have ever used the WhatsApp. While I was talking to her on WhatsApp, she asked me about who was in our class at school, and there's the one part where I mentioned Morris's name in it, which made her have a shocking look on her face a little bit, and then I told her that Miss Atkins worked at another school as a kindergarten teacher, and I told her that she came in visit one time, and Gina Bana told me that she didn't know that. 39, on March 14th, I have an IEP meeting at 7th period, but unfortunately, after my IEP meeting, I have to leave the school instead of waiting until 8th period for dismissal because I didn't really feel like being there for the rest of the time. 40, on March 16th, I finally purchased myself a Disney Plus subscription, so I can watch Disney Plus again. 41, on March 17th, to March 20th, it was getting annoying that we had to be downstairs all day because of the elevator was not working. And 42, on March 21st, it was my last day of school before spring break. During the same day, we went to another school for basketball, but unfortunately, we had to wait a little while for the bus to come. Get us from the other school after when we get done playing basketball, which kinda caused us to freeze a little bit because it was cold. Thank goodness, this winter ended on March 20th, 2025 at midnight, and thank goodness it's in the past now. The only thing I like about this winter is that I play Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PS4, talked to Ginabana on WhatsApp, went on Special Olympics trips, and went to the dance, and that's it. Who likes winter 2025? All characters from Red Dead Redemption 2, Benjamin Chaput, Kenyon the Gamer 2011, and Elul Errol, all characters from Red Dead Redemption 2 likes this winter because I played their game on my PS4 over the winter. And the 3 users told me to put them in this spot. Here's the list of a user who hates this winter: Dominic Viander the LVM Clone Collector 2K8, Dominic Viander the LVM Clone Collector 2K8 told me to put him in this spot. Winter 2025 sucks. And so does December 24th, 2024. Mau Mau Heroes of Pure Heart is so many times better than winter 2025, end of rant.